Welcome to Lab 14, Performing Drive Sanitization. I'm going to click Next to start our lab. First thing that we're going to do is log in as root with our password and information that we have on the instructions page. Next, we are going to click on Terminal Window. Make sure to check off the steps as you go. And then we're going to type the command fdisk-space-l. So if you want to know what this command does, you can type man and then the fdisk command. And this is going to give you information on what this command does. Basically, it is a dialogue-driven manipulation of the partition tables. So we're going to be looking at what drives are listed. So we want to look and see what L does. And L does a list function of the partition tables for the specified devices, and then it puts you back to your command to your Linux prompt. So we're going to hit quit and type fdisk-space-l to list. And now we see our devices. We can check off step 3 and go on to step 4. Before we go on to step 4, we do have a question to answer here. And we need to answer this, so let's go for that. Enter the full disk path name of the storage device with a size of 80 gigabytes, but no existing partition divisions in the text box below. So as you're looking at this information, you're seeing all these partitions, but there is one partition right here. Disk space/dev/SDB. And that is what we're going to type in here. /dev/SDB. And then we're going to click score. And it's referencing the correct storage device. So now we are going to enter that command in here. We're going to type fdisk space/dev/SDB and hit enter. Welcome to the Linux utility, to the fdisk utility. So we're going to initiate this tool to create storage partitions. So command M for help. So we're going to press M to get help on this. And you can see the full commands that you can do in here. So first thing that we're going to do after checking off step 5 is go to step 6, and we're going to go ahead and press P. P is going to give us the information of our current partition table. You can check off step 6, and we want to click V. And what does V do? Let's look at our commands here. It verifies the partition table. Hit enter, and there's our verification of it. Now, every time that we type a command, if you want to know what it means, we can always go up here to look at what it is. If it is not listed, then you're not able to run that command. That command is not available. As you can see, the next command that we have to enter is N to create the new partition table. You can check off step 8 and go to step 9. It's going to ask us the partition type, and it's going to ask us if we're creating a primary or extended partition. I'm going to press P to create a partition, a primary partition. and hit enter. Now we're going to ask it to select a partition number, and that is between 1 and 4. Default is 1, so you could hit enter. And then you're going to be asked the size of it. Before you continue, make sure that you're checking off your steps as you're going so you know where you're at. And we are going to accept the default by pressing enter, which is 2048. And then it's going to ask us the last sector. And we're going to put the last sector, which is the default, and hit enter. You can check off steps 11 and 12. And now we're going to press P to display the partition information. So we have a question here. What is the full path name of the new partition, and enter it in the text box below. So we're going to type it in here. So this is the name right here, /dev/SDB1. We're going to enter that here. And you're going to click score. We're going to commit the changes by pressing W, which in our list here says write the table to the disk and exit. So that's what it's going to do. And so we're going to press W. And it has created the partition table. You can check off step 14 and go on to step 15. We have another command here, mkfs. So if we want to know more details, man space mkfs. And this is going to build a Linux file system, and we have some commands that we have here. What does -t do? This is obviously for more information. It is going to select a type. And the type is going to be the format, which is going to be FAT or FAT32. So now we are going to press Q to quit. And we're going to enter this command. mkfs space -t space FAT space /dev/SDB1. If you are having problems reading these commands, remember you can use the zoom feature here in the instructions section to change your settings down, and it will not affect this. You can use the little arrows. You can use a slider here to go back and forth if you need to read them a little bit better. I do. So I'm going to make it a little better by moving this bar over. Now you'll see the commands a little bit better. We're going to check off step 15 after we hit enter. And it's gone ahead and made that, it's gone ahead and formatted that partition. So now we're going to create a folder. Again, if you need to know what these commands are, you can always use the man pages. man make dir space / oh, not slash, we're make dir. And this will tell you it's making directories. So let's go ahead and make this directory. Space / mnt / and hit enter. If you're running into errors, verify all these steps that you've done before committing. So I am going to make sure that this command is correct. Again, if you're having trouble viewing the instructions, you can always increase the font size. And you can see I'm going to go to step 17 now, which is mount. If you want to know what the mount command does, you can type man page mount, and it will tell you it mounts a file system. You can press Q to quit. Let's type our command in, mount space / dev / sdb1 / mnt / sales storage. If you've run into an error, this is a good time to make sure that all the other commands were created correctly. Sales storage was created. We created this folder here. Sales storage, that is correct. And it says it cannot find it. So let's see if we made we didn't put a space in here. And remember that there is a space between these commands. Okay, so now we've mounted this. Let's go ahead and list. If you, again, need to know what these commands do, you can man ls will tell you it's listing the directory contents, and you can go on. And L is for long file format. So let's take a look. Make sure that we check off these steps. Step 17 is completed. We're on step 18. And in step 18, we are going to type ls space -l space /mnt / sales storage, and you can see that it did run correctly. We have nothing in that file. So now we need to copy some files using the cp command. Again, if you want to know more details, type man cp. It'll tell you what you're doing and what the switches are. R is going to be, let's take a look at that. R is recursive, so we'll copy all our files. We're going to press Q to quit, and we are back to our command prompt. So cp space -r space usr /share /sc list /star space the destination /mnt /sales. So storage. Hit enter. And now we can check off step 19. The process should take less than 30 seconds to copy. It might take a little longer. And now we want to rerun the ls-l command. Let's do that. If you don't want to type, you can press the up arrows until you get the correct command. Hit enter. And now we can see that we have files in this sales storage folder. You can check off step 20. And select score. We want to leave the terminal window open, and we can check off the next steps, these completed steps that we've done, and then we can go on to part 2 of Lab 14. Okay, so we're on part 2 of Lab 14, deleting and undeleting file objects. From our last step in our previous lab, our previous part of, step 1, we created a folder, we had copied some files into it, and now we are going to delete and undelete these files. A little tip here, pay attention to the commands and type them exactly as they are written. If I create an error message, please look at how I am resolving the error message in here. So, step 1, we already logged in. We already on step 2 have our terminal window. If you do not have these for some reason, please go ahead and log in and click on the terminal window right up here. So now we want to look at the contents of ls-l, which we already did, and we are going to, step 3. This is a good reason why you should keep checking off these steps so that you have an idea where you are at. If you also have any problems looking at the commands and distinguishing what is space and what is not, please feel free to use the slider at the top here next to the help. It'll zoom in and allow you to see everything here. Okay. So now we are on step 3 and we are going to enter rm. And before we enter rm, let's do man rm to look at what this command does. And this is removes files or directories. All right, so we see that there's a -r. So let's take a look at it here, and it is recursive. So let's go ahead and press Q to enter this command. rm space -r space /mnt /sales storage /miscellaneous. And we're going to delete this. We are done with step 3. Step 4, I'm gonna up arrow back to our ls command to see what the contents are, and as you can see, we're missing the miscellaneous folder. And now I'm going to go ahead and click score. If you get a message saying that it's still there, please verify by running the ls command that the miscellaneous folder has been removed. If not, you can rerun the command in step 3. If you ran into an error, there is a space right after -r, and then you can continue typing the /mnt /sales storage /miscellaneous. Now we have another command in step 5 that we're going to look at, which is test disk, and we're going to attempt to undelete the deleted files and folders. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this command does. Test disk scans and repairs disk and partition. So it checks and recovers lost partition. It works with these file systems. And there it supports FAT16, FAT12, FAT16, FAT32. Let's go ahead and press Q to quit, and let's type our command in. And that is test disk /dev/sdb DB1. And we're going to hit enter. And now we have a dev tool here that's asking us. So we have a cursor highlighted for proceed. And all we need to do here is hit enter. So let's go ahead and proceed to step 7, and we want to make sure that none is selected and then hit enter. Check off step 7. We are on step 8. We want to make sure that we are selecting the FAT32 primary partition table. You see the P in FAT32 highlighted. You want to move your arrow key on your keyboard to undelete. Hit enter. And then we can see that the miscellaneous folder here is highlighted in red. So we want to move our keyboard down to the miscellaneous folder. To select this current object, you're going to hit the colon key. You're going to press Shift and the colon key, and now it has changed the color. It is now selected. We are on step 11, and we want to type the capital C. You hold Shift and press C, or and it will copy the selected. Excuse me. And right now, this is the destination where the files will be copied. We want to select it to a different folder, and we want to select the downloads folder. So we're going to arrow down to downloads and press enter. Then we are going to type a capital C. You hold Shift and press the C button, and then it's going to say copy done, 233 OK, 0 failed. You are done with step 12 and step 13. To exit test disk, you're going to press your Control and C button. Then we want to go ahead and do an ls of the downloads folder. So we want to list the directory contents, space -L for long view, and we are going to press space downloads / miscellaneous and hit enter. So if it doesn't display correctly, you can type the reset, and you can type reset here. And then you can try the command again. I just up arrowed to ls-l miscellaneous, downloads miscellaneous / miscellaneous, and I was able to get it looking like this. So now you want to score to validate that you've done all these tasks correctly. And you should have all files recovered in green check mark. And then we want to leave the terminal window open before going on to our next task. And we are going to check these off. Okay, now in this part of the lab, we are going to securely delete files using Shred. So we've already connected to our Kali Linux virtual machine. We've logged in. If you have not, complete steps 1 and 2 and return to the terminal window. If you closed it, you can reopen it by clicking the icon here. So now we want to look at ls-l space MNT sales storage to view the contents of the storage device. And let's go ahead and see if we have that command. We don't have it here. Oh, there it was. ls space dash l space slash MNT slash sales storage. And now we're going to hit enter. So now we are done with step 3. We are going to enter the ls-l capital R and space to view the recursive contents of the passwords directory. So let's go and do that. ls space dash l capital R space slash MNT slash sales storage slash passwords, and hit enter. And now we have contents of the passwords folder here. So now we're going to use the cat command to view the contents of one of the files within this passwords directory. So we're going to type in cat. If you want to know more, you can type man space cat to find more information about the concatenate and looking at the files. Cat space slash MNT slash sales storage slash passwords slash BT4 dash password dot txt and hit enter. Okay, so now we're going to use find and shred to securely delete all files within the passwords directory on the sales storage location using zeroization processing. So zeroization is the process of securely erasing sensitive data such as cryptographic keys, confidential information, in this case it's passwords, from a storage device or memory to prevent unauthorized access. The goal of this is to make it unrecoverable by overwriting it with zeros or other patterns to ensuring that it cannot be recovered with advanced forensics techniques. So let's continue. Find space slash MNT slash sales storage slash passwords type F dash X shred. And if you're missing you get an error message that says missing an argument to exec. Yep, we have some more. Make sure that you are looking at the information here. We have shred u vz. We have brackets, space, slash, semicolon. And now it is executing. So one of the things that you'll have to understand about the shred utility, it only will shred individual files as the targets. You have to use the find tool to locate and identify the files as a means to send file names as input to the shred utility so that it can overwrite it. So now let's go ahead and enter and take a look at the ls command that we typed in earlier to see what is in that passwords folder. So now we have ls space dash lr capital R space space slash mnt slash sales storage slash passwords, and hit enter. And you can see if you do see this kind of wonky, you can see that there's no files left. There's nothing in Bible Pass. There's nothing in common credentials, malware. There's 0 total files. So it's removed those. Notice that we have the subdirectory still there, but the files are no longer present. That is the main thing about this. Shred will not delete the empty directories. Now we need to remove the empty directories. We could delete, and what we're going to do in step 8 is delete the passwords folder using the rm command. Rm dash sales storage. If it pops up like this, you can definitely blank it out by backspacing it and type. I like to save myself the headache of retyping commands, so I will reuse them. And you hit enter on step 8. You will there'll be no confirmation. So what you need to do at this point is really nothing. There's nothing that we need to do. Now what we're going to do is go back. I mean, if you want to go ahead and type ls to get some more experience and to see what's in this, you can see that the password folder is missing. So it has been confirmed deleted, and now we can go on to our next step. Step 9 is using test disk again. And remember, test disk is a utility that is going to try to recover this information. So I up arrowed and am reusing the same command, test disk space slash dev slash sdb1, and I'm going to hit enter to get into the utility. Same thing as before. We have this. We want to notice at the bottom of the page here, we're on the proceed, so we could hit enter. And now we are in the recovery utility, and we could select the partition that we want to recover. When you're in here, make sure you go over to undelete. And we've completed steps 11 and step 12. So now we're going to use our keyboard arrows to go down to where it says passwords and then press enter. We are on step 13, and we see the contents of the directory structure and the file names. Now we're going to press our left arrow to return a list of previous directories. So using our keyboard arrow, we're going to go back down. Make sure you click in the VM. Highlight passwords, hit enter. And then we're going to press our shift key and make sure that we are hitting the colon. We are done with 16 and 17. And we want to hold the shift key down and press C to copy the selected files. We want to move this arrow down to our downloads folder. Press enter to enter it, and then we're going to hold the shift key down and press C. Now, you're going to see a copy done, 0 and 0 failed. That's fine because it does not list it. We want to press, because it's been securely deleted, we are going to press Control C to get out of this. And then we are going to try to see if we can, we're going to do ls, and you can scroll through your list of commands, and if it's available, you can reuse that command. If it is not, you will have to retype it. ls space dash, ls space dash l space slash actually no slash, so we're going to go downloads, and I'm going to backspace over miscellaneous, went a little too far, and I'm going to type passwords and make sure you're spelling it correctly or it will fail. And it's going to say that cannot access downloads passwords, no file or directory existed. So it looks like it was restored, but it's not. So let's go ahead and see if we can look at the contents of this and using the cat command. So we're going to type cat space, I can spell cat space downloads slash passwords slash BT dash 4, sorry, BT 4 dash, password dot txt. Make sure the command you're typing in, step 23, matches your Kali Linux prompt, and then you're going to hit enter. No such file or directory exists. So there's no way you can try to look at the recovered files, but they've all been zeroed, they've been shredded, so it's going to be virtually impossible to do so. But if you've done everything correctly, go ahead and click the score button to see if you, to confirm it and get credit for this step. And it says that the root, the file root desktop passwords slash BT4 passwords is empty. So now we can go ahead and leave this terminal window open, select the following checkboxes to move on to the next step where we will be formatting a drive. Welcome to part 4 of our lab 14. This is formatting a drive to destroy data. And we're going to use this option. So first thing that we're going to do is log in as our Kali Linux root and password that we have listed in the instructions page. And we're going to check off step 1. I have left my terminal window open. If you have not, you can go to the terminal icon and continue it from here. Now we're going to enter the following command. I want you to pay close attention to the warning here. And I'm going to bring my font size up a little bit more so that we can understand it. You're going to enter umount to unmount the drive. It is not unmount. it is umount, UMOUNT space / MNT / sales storage. Okay, let's be clear on that. A lot of times people will try to use the unmount when you should be using umount. Let's type our command in here. If you were to do man pages on it, it will tell you that you're unmounting a drive or folder system. So the command that we're typing in again is umount space / MNT / sales storage, and we're going to hit enter. You are done with step 3, and we can proceed to step 4. We're going to make file system. We're going to format the drive to attempt to sanitize the data. So we are going to use mkfs to make file system. So mkfs, and I still have my old command from the previous, so I'm gonna right arrow so I can so it highlights it, and then I'm going to hit enter. It is then going to format the storage device to sanitize the data. So we're going to click score to score and see if we've run everything correctly. If you've run unmount, you will be, if you type the command unmount, you'll get an error message and you'll be stuck at step 3. So make sure you are typing in step 3 umount space / MNT / sales storage. And then you could proceed to step 4. And then after step 4, you can score. Next that we're going to do is run test disk space / dev / sdb1 to attempt to undelete files or folders. I'm going to up arrow to see if I have the command already listed still on my history. I do, so I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to be in the test disk utility. It should be highlighted as such where we are looking at /dev / sdb1, and we can go ahead on in step 6 and hit enter to proceed. And if none is selected, make sure none is selected here. Hit enter, and we have completed steps 5, 6, and 7. We are now on step 8. So now this will result in the display of the FAT32 partition. It'll be highlighted. So now what we can do is move our arrow to undelete at the bottom of the screen and then press enter. And it's saying that no file found, file system may be damaged. And that's fine because we formatted this so it is not recoverable using the test disk utility. So now we are going to check off step 9 and then press Control C or Command C to go back to your terminal window prompt. We are going to leave the terminal window open. It is note to say that when we are recovering disk, that we can still use some third-party tools to dive deep into to recover partitions after reformatting it. It is possible. So that means with these third-party utilities that recover formatted partitions that it is not a secure way of sanitization or data destruction technique. Okay, but anything that is low-lying information that is not critical information, then you can go ahead and use the format command. However, I would recommend not doing it and completely destroying it. Confirm that we've formatted the drive. We can check this off, and we can check off the last option. So we're in the last part of our lab, 14, which is sanitization of a drive. So I already kept my Kali Linux window open. Again, if you closed it for some reason, you can go ahead and re-sign into it. Also, I already have my terminal window open. So if you did close it, you can click on the icon right here and we can go ahead and take a look and go on to step 3. So since the data on the drive was formatted in the previous exercises, we're going to need to do a couple of steps again that we did before. We're going to need to put some files in here. So we are going to run these 2 separate commands. I'm going to guide you through each one of them, so please follow along. First command is mount. We're going to mount the file system, and if you still have it available in your history, you can right arrow and bring this in. If you do not, you will have to type mount space /dev /sdb1 space /mnt /sales storage and confirm that this command is correct. This is the top one that we are looking at. These are individual commands. Do not run them together or type them together. Hit enter. Now we're going to type in the cp command to copy the files over to sales storage so we can continue. I'm going to type cp. If it's still available in your history, you don't have to retype it. You can use your right keyboard arrow to make sure everything is highlighted and visible again. If you did not, you will have to type in cp space /r space /usr /share SECLISTS * space /MNT /sales storage / okay, and confirm the command is correct and matches what you have in step 3. Hit enter. If you're impatient and you press enter a couple of times, you'll get this MM. I did, and I hit enter a couple of times, so apologize for that. You don't have to do that, but once you get back to your Kali Linux prompt, the command would have finished. So now we want to look at we're going to run a zerodization sanitization of the same storage device that we just put here. This operation will take almost 2 minutes to complete as it progresses. So let's type this command in. If you want to know what DD does, you can use the man pages. And it converts and copies a file. So let's type our command in, dd space if equals /dev /0 space of equals dev. And I almost made a mistake here. This is why you have to be careful. /dev /sdb space bs equals, and we are going to equals 1m status space status equals progress. A little bit more about the command. The DD is a utility used to copy and convert data from one location to another. The if part here, if equals dev space, if equals /dev/0 part, this actually provides the continuous stream of 0 bytes. This is what we're telling it to do. We're telling it to 0. The of equals dev/sdb part, this part here tells us the target device. The BS1 is the block size that is set to 1 megabyte. DD will read and write the chunks of data in 1 megabyte increments. The status progress will tell us that will display the option of progress of how much data has been written in real time. Okay, so this part is going to do the zeroing, and this is the device, and this is how DD is going to read it in 1 byte increments. Zeroing it in 1 byte increments. Let's go ahead and hit enter, and we can see that we have a progress bar, and we can see that it's going. And I stand corrected. I think I said BSM 1 byte. It is actually 1 megabyte progress. So I apologize for that oversight. While this is running, we can check off step 4 and take a look at our next step, which we'll have to do shortly. And now that it's finished, we can go on to step 5. We are going to go back to our fdisk command, and we still have our old history, so we're going to go ahead and space/dev/sdb and hit enter to take a look at the partitions. We want to press P to print the file, and then we want to press V to verify. And if you type capital, it is going to say no. So let's try P again in lowercase. And then we have this looking this way. This is fine. This is our device right here. And then we can go ahead to press lowercase v to verify the information. And we verified the partition table. So we see that there's no errors. We don't have any prompts for errors here. So we can move on, check off step 6 and 7, and go to step 8, which is we're going to press Q to quit, hit enter, and we're back to our Kali Linux environment. Now we're going to go ahead and type test disk, and we're going to see if we are able, what we're going to process here. So let's go to test disk. I think I still have it in my history. I do. However, it is for an older command, so I'm going to backspace 1 and see if we could go here. And we can check off step 9 and go to step 10. We can hit enter for proceeding, and then we want to go and leave it on Intel. Hit enter, and we are going to leave it on the analyze option, and we're going to hit enter. So 11 and 12 are completed, and we can select score. And it has no partitions, so we've completed this. If you've missed a step, please make sure that you go back and correct your steps. Step 13, we are finished with this lab, so we're going to press Control C. I'm on a Windows key. I believe it's Command C. And now you can go ahead, confirm that everything was done, and check off. And now you can go on to your comprehensive questions. Thank you for watching.